A fallback to standard time. That's what we're on when it's not daylight saving time. Ironically, we spend fewer months of the year in standard time, so maybe it's not exactly the standard. But the change applies to every state except Hawaii and parts of Arizona, which don't observe daylight saving time in the first place. And the Uniform Time Act of 1966 is responsible for standardizing time changes. Many will complain about the sunset being closer to 5:45 than 6:45 p.m. at this time of year, and it'll continue getting earlier until the winter solstice on December 21st. But there is a silver lining to falling back. It makes the time of sunrise closer to the time when most people wake up, so at least many Americans won't be starting and ending their day in the dark. The debate goes on over whether time changes are still necessary and whether daylight saving time actually conserves energy in the summer as it was meant to do. But partly because people can't agree on whether daylight saving time or standard time should be the year-round civil time we observe, the times they keep a-changin'. We are one day from Election Day in America, and our nonpartisan coverage continues right now on The World from A to Z. My name is Carl Azuz, so happy to have y'all watching. As far as polls go, things are as close as they can be between Republican former President Donald Trump and Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris. Here's what the latest national polling suggests. Both main candidates deadlocked with 47% support each. These are not actual vote results. They reflect what voters said when they were asked how they were planning to vote. And polls are not always accurate, but they do usually favor one candidate over another. So this polling deadlock might indicate a close race. Even though tomorrow is officially Election Day, more than 40% of American voters have already cast their ballots in early voting. That number exceeded 71 million by the weekend before Election Day. Here are some of the top concerns on people's minds.
As Election Day approaches, what issues are driving voters to head to the polls?
How we can, I don't want to get into politics, but secure our borders, help our veterans and help the U.S. people.
We want to make sure that, we have somebody that's want to support women and abortion rights is very important to us.
Surveys show immigration and abortion rights are near the top, but the economy remains the number one concern.
We should have a plan, which I do, to actually get things done, including bringing down the cost of living for people, investing in our small businesses, expanding access to health care, investing in American industry.
The majority of voters say they are displeased with the current state of the economy.
I will never apologize for defending America. I will protect our workers. I will protect our jobs. I will protect the birthright of our children to live in the richest and most powerful nation on the face of the earth.
While Trump holds an advantage when it comes to this topic, polling shows Harris has chipped away at that gap. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Is it constitutional? Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution determines that presidential elections shall be held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. True or false? Answer here, false. This part of the Constitution relates to the composition of the U.S. Senate and the terms of senators, but doesn't discuss election timing.
Hey! Did you know the Constitution doesn't establish an official election day? In 1845, the U.S. Congress passed a law establishing the Tuesday after the first Monday in November as Election Day. To learn more, visit periodicpresidents.com.
Word of knowledge. The Balearic Sea is part of what larger body of water? Arctic Ocean, Caribbean Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Pacific Ocean. You'll find the Balearic Sea and the islands that share its name off the eastern coast of Spain in the Mediterranean.
The Spanish community of Valencia is on the coast of the Balearic or Iberian Sea. It was badly affected by the deadly flash flooding we told you about last Friday. Many Spaniards have criticized their government for not responding quickly or effectively enough to the disaster. But after it offered to bus volunteers to affected areas, thousands of people turned out with brooms, mops, buckets, and rain gear to help those in need. a community of volunteers assisting rescue workers to care for their neighbors.
On this date in world history.
November 4th, 1922, a British archaeologist named Howard Carter was leading a team of workmen on a dig in Egypt's Valley of the Kings. This was the date they found something significant, a step in the sand. It would eventually lead them to the incredibly well-preserved burial room of Egyptian King Tutankhamun, also known as King Tut, who did not have a condo made of stone. November 4th in 1979 was when a group of Iranian college students seized control of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and took more than 50 Americans as hostages. It was the beginning of the Iranian hostage crisis, an act tied to that nation's revolution and its deteriorating relationship with the United States. The hostages were held for 444 days before their release. The rivalry between Iran and the United States, which involves several other international issues, continues today.
Where in the world? This is a landlocked country in southern Asia. Both the Soviet Union and the United States have been involved in long-running wars here. Its government is a theocracy controlled by a Muslim fundamentalist group named the Taliban. This is Afghanistan, an impoverished nation of more than 40 million.
In the snowy mountains of the Badakhshan province of Afghanistan, men gather in search of gold. Digging into the mountains, a generator powers the lights inside their tunnel, and a small jackhammer is used to chip away at the rock. The men break up the rocks so they can be hauled down the mountain to be milled, to make it easier to sift for gold. Other gold mining operations in the area have been successful, but even after digging out 4 tunnels worth of rock, this crew hasn't, struck gold.
We have spent money to dig, but we have found nothing yet.
This miner was once a mechanic, but he could find little to no work in the nearby town. Now he and other jobless men are pouring what money they do have into the mining operation, hoping and praying their venture will pay off.
In the shop, there wasn't much business. They told us that the mine was being dug out. We have been working here for a month, but the results are unclear.
The work is high risk, high reward. Mining for gold can be expensive, paying for labor, fuel, and tools. It's also dangerous, with a constant risk of landslides and collapses. Miners have been injured, trapped, and occasionally killed. But Humayun and his crew don't have much of a choice. It's hard to calculate the value of Afghanistan's goods and services, but experts think the nation's gross domestic product is down 20% since the United States pulled its troops out of the country and the Taliban returned to power in 2021. Within a year of the Taliban takeover, unemployment rates increased 2%, leaving 12 million people unemployed.
There is a weak indication that there is gold, so we won't give up hope.
Saddling up for the first 2 schools in today's World of Viewers segment, we're riding out west with the Mustangs. Hello to the students and teachers of Mesa Robles Middle School. It's in the community of Hacienda Heights in the Golden State of California. Next, the Broncos of the Sunshine State. Miss Shane's class is with us from Palm Beach Central High School. The village of Wellington is in Florida. And we can't forget the Magnolia State of Mississippi. It's great to see Coach Goebel's class there, watching from Ocean Springs Middle School in Ocean Springs. If you're really into the whole smells like fall thing, and I mean way beyond pumpkin spice, feast your eyes on the new candle flavors or scents being offered by the Campbell's Soup Company. It's for people who can't wait for their home to smell like Thanksgiving side dishes, mashed potatoes, apple and herb stuffing, and my least favorite, green bean casserole. So light the wick and take a breath of Turkey Day well before Uncle Billy shows up and starts talking politics. It'll certainly soup up conversation, but can they hold a candle to the real thing? Will folks be casseroled over from head to potatoes? Will they macaroni need to go row the gravy boat and cranberry their nose in a cornucopia or pumpkin pile of turkey delights? If you're a tryptophan of Thanksgiving, you may want to be stuffing your home with flavors that are truly lit, y'all. I'm Carl Azuz for The World from A to Z.